Was this Mikel Arteta's vision all along, to build a team that could attack all game, have constant possession, create chances, score a load of goals, be camped in the opposition half, and yet never concede anything going the other way? Forget goals, I'm talking chances, I'm talking mere shots. Arsenal have been so dominant in all phases of play, and they found this incredible balance that I kind of thought, listen, I've seen other teams be incredibly balanced, but you've known them for attacking ruthlessness, you've known them for being electric, for being fast-paced, or you've known them for being incredibly rigid defensively and effective going forward. But Arteta's finding a balance. Now, we've only seen it for 7 games, but if we can continue this to the end of the season, it'd be really, really impressive. So was this Arteta's vision all along? This video is inspired by 2 things. A, some brilliant analysis on Monday Night Football by Jamie Carragher and Thierry Henry, and by a tweet by Jess from She Knows Arsenal. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel, which is absolutely fantastic. She was referring to a video where Mikel Arteta's early kind of quotes were doing the rounds and what he said when he first arrived at Arsenal, and she said that the last 6 games in the league is 100% his vision. Now you can make that the last 7, that tweet was before we destroyed Sheffield United 6-0, and you can see that Arsenal's last 7 games in the Premier League are 7 wins with no draws, no defeats, 31 goals scored and 3 goals conceded. Now, they did the Monday Night Football team, they went through the actual results in a bit more detail, and of course we didn't have the Sheffield United result done at the time, but you can see lots of 5s on the board, a 6, a 4, you can add another 6 to that as well. Funnily enough, Forest gave us the toughest game in that run. But what's really crucial about these results is not just going, wow, Arsenal put 7 games in a row together and they've done a bit of a Man City Liverpool, and they've done it over 10, 11, 12, 13 games, and that's the task now, and all that. You can talk about all those things. I think what's crazy is how the results are so emphatic. It's actually massively changed the complexion of Arsenal's season. And when you look at season projections, I love doing season projections, because what you do is you divide the amount of games played, points, goals scored, goals conceded. You divide it by the amount of games you've played, and you multiply by 38 games, which would be a 38 game season, and you get an idea for what you're on course to do. Now, those projections have changed dramatically since the end of 2023 because of 2024's results. So here they are, the season projections, where Arsenal were on course for 76 points after 20 games. After 27, they're on course for 86. We were on course to have scored 70 goals. We're now on course for 96 goals. And we were on course for 38 goals conceded. We're now on course for 32 goals conceded. It's a massive, massive change. And the important thing to remember about this is, this doesn't even talk about current momentum. This is talking about actually current momentum along with what we've done earlier in the season and projecting based on all the data we've got together. If you just took the data from this last 7 games, then you're talking something really extraordinary, because current momentum would have us scoring another 48 goals in the remaining 11 games, and you're talking 116 total or something ridiculous, obviously, or even more than that. It'd be stupid, right? Arsenal aren't going to do that. But the point I'm trying to make is Arsenal and their last 7 results have massively changed the projections of the complexion of our season. And actually, you're going, we're now on course to better last season, where it certainly didn't look like that, even about a month or 2 ago. Now, the other thing they talked about on Monday Night Football was expected goal difference, and you've got it here. I mean, this is them going through the graphic they had on screen, and Arsenal at the top of the expected goal difference table. Now what that does is it takes your expected goals, of course that measures chance creation across games, and it accumulates them across all those games to see what your expected goals scored should have been for the season, and you minus it by your expected goals conceded. Yeah, expected goals against is probably a better way to get an expected goal difference. So basically, how many goals, or what should your goal difference be at this point in the season, all games played, and Arsenal sit at the top of that. Now, Jamie Carragher went on to refer this is really important because Man City have always been at the top of that. And if I show you here, just to really highlight the importance of expected goal difference, City have been at the top of it for the last 5 seasons, and they have won 4 of those 5 titles, because naturally, if you're creating better and more quality chances and conceding the least, you're going to have that better goal difference, aka more likely get a lot of points on the board. Of course, Liverpool are the slight anomaly there, but we know that Liverpool are a fantastic side as well, who would have been on the right side of a lot of that data. So that's all great. That's really encouraging that Arsenal got themselves to a point where this season Our expected goal difference is the best in the league, and that is all data that really kind of fuels this idea that Arsenal really could do it. Now, like I said, the last 7 games will have played a big part in sort of swinging that, but it's just great that we're at this stage of the season, 27 games played with 11 to go, and Arsenal are at the top there. But one of the things that everyone's giving Arsenal an extreme amount of credit for is the defensive record. And again, on Sky Monday Night Football, in this brilliant analysis piece that you can find on YouTube on the Sky Sports Premier League account, they go through Arsenal's defensive record from ranking first for goals conceded, open play goals conceded, clean sheets, and then per game as well. They are the best in the league for expected goals against, shots on target faced per game, and opposition touches in the box. Arsenal have done an unbelievable job of not just defending their goal really well, but defending so high up the pitch that the opposition's not even getting anywhere near goal. They have to work so hard to get anywhere near us because of the structure that Arteta's put in place and because of the players that they've got that are brilliant in the recovery, that can read the game really easily and can give Arsenal an extreme foothold in the game. Now, there's another bit of data that's sent to me from Nick J. Francis. Go subscribe to his channel. Go subscribe to Sky Sports Premier League, She Knows Arsenal, and Nick J. Francis, because they're genuinely all brilliant, fantastic content creators. But he sent me this, Nick, big up to Nick, with and it comes from Data Analytic EPL. That's the @ you can see in the graphic, and it shows that Arsenal are just the best defensive side in the league, which we've known through all those other numbers. When you look at things like shots conceded per game and expected goals conceded per shot, showing you that not only are they conceding such a few amount of shots per game, but they're very low quality as well, whereas Man City concede very few shots per game, but they are of higher quality sometimes, so teams are finding moments where they're able to get a decent effort on goal against City. Arsenal haven't had that problem. It's an incredible balance that Mikel Arteta has built there. And is this all on purpose? Was this all in his vision? Was this all intentional? Well, when you look at this, the players he signed per position, he signed 5 goalkeepers for £61 million and 10 defenders for £160 million. There's no position and no area of the pitch he's addressed more than the defence, from Jakub Kiwior to Gabriel to many more, Ben White. This has been the area of the pitch that he has really put more focus into than any other. In midfield, yeah, you could say 293 million went there, but actually 65 million, that includes Kai Havertz, who's now playing as a striker, and 105 million it went on Declan Rice alone. So much of his work has been done on getting not only defenders, but also, yeah, if you want to talk midfielders, Jorginho, Partey, Rice, number 6s who could cover as well. So he really wanted to get that platform because he spent a staggeringly little amount actually in 4 years on the attacking front, with Jesus costing 45 million out of 3 attackers that came for a total of 65 million. So I just think when you look at the defensive structure Arsenal have, the numbers and how we're playing with purely the eye test, you can see that I think Mikel Arteta really did intend to build an incredibly defensive, resilient team, a team that could defend so unbelievably well, put up these incredible numbers without being renowned as a defensive side, because obviously he came through the school of Pep Guardiola, he played under Arsene Wenger. He himself was a fairly creative player. You'd want to play football on the ball, attacking, entertaining, but getting that incredible balance that we're all enjoying right now. Now, there's another thing that came out of the Sheffield United game, which was a little clip. I'm going to show you a screenshot from it here of all the Arsenal players turning in the tunnel, you know, to the Sheffield United players at once. And I asked a question on Twitter whether this was on purpose. Was it a coincidence? Did something, you know, catch their attention, they all turned around, or was this an intended intimidation tactic? I haven't made my decision yet, but I do think it's really interesting that David Dein, in a fantastic interview with AFTV, go check out that interview, I'll put the link in the description below. It's fantastic that, in fact, I'll put all the channel links in the description below, but I think it's really interesting that David Dein says in that interview around minute 30, he says that all the Arsenal players in the Invincibles era would have an intimidation tactic that they would use when they would turn around to the opposition in the tunnel to feel like they had empowered themselves to go win the game from that moment then. And I think that's really interesting. Go watch the whole interview, it's fantastic, but the parallels are really interesting. And because this was doing the rounds on Twitter, I thought I'd just pay some attention to that interview done with Robbie and David Dein, because it was great. Go check it out. Here's the thumbnail so you know what you're looking for. It was a really great discussion about one of the great Arsenal sides that I imagine Mikel Arteta is also trying to learn from. I imagine he is, Mikel Arteta, he wants to get an edge in any possible way. He had speakers out on the training pitch, to try to recreate the noise of Anfield. Like, he is trying to find any edge possible, and I get it, because when you're coming up against Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, you're probably going to need it. Alright everyone, hope you've enjoyed this video. Would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Was this Arteta's vision all along to create an incredibly balanced side that had some of the most defensive and best defensive numbers, along with being incredibly entertaining and incredibly attacking? I think it probably was. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.